I know when I walk into a room, people are gonna have a perception of me and what I look like. And Portfolio Center does this thing where they would have seminars and they'd have guest speakers come in. And there was this guy by the name of Eric Baker. You can look him up and you can search his firm in New York. And he came and he presented, and the work that he did wasn't like it was the craziest work. Because as students, you get obsessed with stuff that's just like, oh, that's cool and flashy, and I think that that's great, right? His work wasn't cool and flashy like that. It was just really solid work. And he was a really solid, no-nonsense guy. And for whatever reason, whatever he was saying resonated with me. And so I asked Hank, can I take him to the airport? And Hank was like, yeah, sure. So it's a Thursday. We're driving to the airport in the middle of rush hour traffic in Atlanta, and you guys know how that is, right? And so we're just literally sitting there, 75, 85, and I'm trying to make conversation with this guy who I admire, and I've only known him for like 3 hours, but I clearly want to be where he's at one day, because again, at this time, my dream is to get mentored and be in this little boutique agency, because I didn't even know Hallmark was going to happen. And so, I'm like driving, sitting in traffic, and I'm like, Mr. Baker, I am really, really glad, that you're here. And, thank you for letting me take you to the airport. And he looks at me and he says, no, I'm glad that you're here. And I was like, oh, thanks, I appreciate that, And he's like, no, you're not hearing me. You're not hearing what I'm saying. And I was like, well, what do you mean? He's like, well, again, this is 16 years ago, 17 years ago. There's not enough people who look like you. There's not enough people who talk like you, who are doing this creatively. So I need you to stick this out, because you need to be here, right? I have never talked to this man ever again, right? If he were standing right here next to me, I would not know what he looked like. If I ran into him on the street and I said hello, he would look at me like I was a total stranger. Yet those words and that 45-minute trip to the airport changed my life forever, and I will never forget that. I will never, ever forget that. And that is the power of what you guys have. That's the power of it. That's the beauty. Mentorship it's an investment, and it's looking at someone and saying, I see you.